Do you ever look at people's faces and count the topographical features?
Look at people's faces and count the topograph. You mean the lines in their face?
No, just do you ever look at someone's face and you're like, God, that kind of looks like a moraine.
I've never done that. It's a strange thing to do.
Like a glass.
Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we toss the apartment of the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And today we have a special guest joining us for this very intricate and important map that we're going to see today. We have professional geographer Dr. Thor Ritz. Welcome to the show, Thor.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Awesome. We need your help, and I think Marcus and
Yes.
Indy need your help. And we all need your help. But this is minute 43, and minute 43 begins with Marcus showing Indy a map with no names in Henry's diary, and it ends with Indy barging in on Elsa in the bathroom.
Well, I just want to start out. We're going to put you on the spot just from the get-go here, Thor. Dr. Thor.
Mm-hmm.
We can call you Dr. Thor. If you, it's a story problem. So get out your pencil. If you knew there was a
3:30.
yeah, exactly. If you knew
7,
there was a city with an oasis due east, and you knew that the course turned south through the desert to the river, and the river led into the mountains straight to the canyon, and this was all the information that you're provided, could you find eternal life?
Well, I need to stop you there.
I don't see why, but okay.
Well, the map that they're working with bothers me in so many ways, and let me break that down for you.
It's not just me? Okay.
So, first of all, an oasis, as far as I know, very rarely contributes to a river which flows towards mountains because gravity tends to go the other way. So,
Oh my God.
So that map is very problematic in that regard. When I was watching the film, though, during this minute, I heard him refer to, the cardinal directions, east, north, south, and seeing the map, it didn't look like they're actually there. But if you and or your listeners take the time to go back to this minute and freeze frame it, there's a circle on that page in his journal, in Indy's father's journal. And I think that would be the cardinal direction, the north arrow, if you would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And the map that he's drawn there, although it is definitely not like a cartographic work that you could use to guide yourself, it's something that we would call that a mental map of a familiar terrain. So it's clear that he's drawing something that might exist in the world. Perhaps there's some way to explain that gravity situation. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to lead to eternal life.
Eternal
Would a map be any
confusion.
use if it doesn't have a legend, like if showing what the distance is to anything?
Well, that's a great question because there are some some essential elements to any good map, and both a legend and a scale bar are important.
Yeah.
So finding the distance and then also marking things. But in this particular map, we might not expect to see those things because he's basically just sketching what he imagines to be in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like a map from like Mordor or something, because it's not even like, or like, Middle Earth. It's not like a straight down above view that you would use as a map. It looks like a sketch of like a landscape or something, with like little cute little mountains and a little river and stuff. Yeah, like it seems kind of more like a piece of art than a map.
That part though is pretty. It's historically accurate, at least in terms of like colonial maps. Like the British Empire would be trying to recreate a lot of the territories they were exploring in, say, like North Africa or whatever, and they had a tradition of drawing things like that. Sort of like you see you see the item that you would normally be looking down at from bird's eye view.
Oh, okay.
So that's sort of a convention that maybe they're trying to recreate in the film.
That makes sense.
Wow. Is it now given this information on this map, if you had to find, like, let's just say the Holy Grail was at the end of this little connect the dots sort of thing, would you I mean, as a professional geographer, would you be able to ultimately find it, do you think? Like, if you were able to survey, I guess, the Earth? I mean, I don't know how you got... But, I mean, is there just too little information here? Or would you be like, oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass, it's going to take a long time, but if we get a large enough collection of maps, I might be able to... piece together 5 or 10 good guesses or good leads, and then we could find it.
Is this still a question about eternal life or about actually locating a thing?
Actually,
Same thing.
actually locating the thing.
You definitely would not be locating a thing with this map, and even 10 of them you wouldn't be. No.
Well, they're super excited that they have this. They finally think that they figure. Don't ask me how they think that they know that Alexandretta is the beginning of this map or the starting point, but that's their like big revelation here in this minute. But would that help them at all if they had this map and like, okay, this blob at the top is Alexandretta. Now we've got the key to the whole thing. That you're saying that doesn't work at all?
Well, I mean, I guess if you knew the starting point, and if there was in fact a river leading from a desert up into the mountains, then that would be helpful for sure.
Okay.
Well, there's some text here. Maybe you can help us decipher that. I don't know if you freeze framed it on the text that's written.
I can bring it back up. But remind me.
Indy's dad wrote compass bearing 95 degrees from map reference 602453 are Twin Peaks. Bearing of 98 degrees, salt flats with large mountains beyond.
Oh, I totally didn't see that. Good spot. That would help a lot.
Where he says 95 degrees, compass bearing 95 degrees from map reference, and he has this 6-digit number. Do you know what that would be referring to? Is that like a USGS map kind of? Oh, that's map number 602453.
I think that
this first number is a longitude. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it would be either an angle measurement or a proper longitude, and the compass.
Okay.
And since he provides the cardinal directions on his hand-drawn map, that would definitely let you orient yourself. So if you were standing in the city looking out towards the desert, that's how you would know which way to walk. So yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I just like the Twin Peaks reference.
Yes.
That's fun.
Is there ever a map where they have the cardinal directions and north is not at the top?
That's a great question. Yes.
Like, when would that be the case?
Have you guys ever ridden the New York subway?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like all the subway maps,
Oh, okay.
if you look closely next time you're in the city, all the subway maps, if they include a north arrow, they're off kilter a bit because Manhattan doesn't run north-south properly. So that would be an example of one.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thor was my guest. I just
Yeah,
want
no,
to
you
let
did,
everybody
Gerry.
know.
Your cookie's in the mail. Relax.
That's crazy. I never thought about it. You just assume north is at, quote, at the top. So, is it, looking at this Grail diary, it's like, so Marcus opens it up and there's 2 pages. And I'm wondering, are those 2 different maps? Like 2 maps, one on each page? Or is the map one big map that spans 2 pages?
No, I think it's on the right. The map is on the right page, and it moves a little bit onto the left page, but most of the left page is where he's got that writing. Where
Yeah, is that like a
compass bearing.
detail of the bigger map or something on the
Oh,
left?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But then before he shows the map, though, he throws those marriage statistics onto the table. And that's they keep highlighting these, and suddenly I'm starting to think, was Henry Sr. planning to marry Elsa?
Yeah, like 10
Oh
years
my
in the
God.
future.
And so when Indy says, "I've got my mom's ears," is Elsa thinking, "That's right, son"?
Oh my God. That's why she's into his ears later. Well,
Yeah.
spoilers, but yeah. Okay, wow. Oh, this is weird.
Oh,
sick.
that's
This is a sick
creepy.
movie.
It's got really sick real fast. Oh my God. Now, Thor, you said you're a professor at Cal State.
Yep.
Is that right? Do you ever just climb out of your office window?
Out? You mean out of frustration?
Yes,
like
yes,
if things are
exactly.
getting
Like
tough.
during
Exactly, out
office
of
hours.
frustration.
Yeah, like do you ever
when
do you
Indy
have
does.
office hours? Yeah, like like you're in your office on Tuesday at like 3:30, and there's everybody's there, and they're all clamoring, and Dr. Ritz. Do you ever just
I've never had to do that. But I was struck in that scene. I guess it's throughout the entire series. They have no problem showing a bunch of, I assume, underage women being very interested in Indy.
Yeah.
And Indy, he's sort of annoyed, but he doesn't. I'm not sure how much of an issue he has with that affection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We had some concerns about that.
We always will.
What if What if he's mostly only interested in women if they're halfway around the world?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe he's maybe he's maybe just I don't
They're
know.
a destination for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean Nepal or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, have you ever gotten a love you on the eyelids, Thor?
Oh.
He can't answer that on the air, Peter.
Okay, well, can you answer this? Have you ever gotten an apple? Has anyone ever given you an apple?
When I first moved to Los Angeles, I was also teaching part-time at Santa Monica College.
Uh-huh.
It's a community college in West LA. It's a very eclectic sort of school. Like a lot of surfers, and those students, the first time I was teaching there, they didn't give me an apple, but they left me a PBR, a banana, and a bunch of granola bars at the end of the semester.
Nice.
It was sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't eat or drink those things, but that was my Apple experience.
That's pretty much a love you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, you
taking
give
it
your
up a notch.
professor
Yeah.
a PBR.
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't map-based, but I do have to report on something horrifying in this minute.
Okay.
We've had the Jawa ghost in Raiders.
Uh-oh.
We had the
boy.
Willy sort of like, J horror, whatever that was, that mummy fake Willy in the background.
Oh, that was awful.
We had
Yeah.
Dr. Fantasy in the Magic Caboose sitting on the back.
Yes, I remember.
Oh,
that.
and the man, oh my
the
God,
guys-
you're right.
yeah.
Jeez, already. Okay, yeah. Okay, but no, here we have, and somebody's going to know what I'm talking about. Behind Marcus, on the wall behind Marcus, there are these white masks.
yeah.
They're like mime or clown masks or something.
They're carnival
And
masks. Like
To me, they will look. They look nothing except like the guy who attacks Albert's girlfriend in Little House on the Prairie, and that absolutely sick and disturbing 2-part episode, which I don't even know how it was on TV, let alone like a family show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Look up Sylvia, Little House on the Prairie, and you'll never sleep again. And that's what's on the wall behind Marcus right now.
Little House in the Prairie.
Oh my God! Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that one?
I
Gerry?
saw that one. I saw that one like in 1983, and
Exactly. Yeah.
it
And
was
you haven't
a very
slept
long
since.
time ago. I haven't slept since. It's true. The thing that was great about Little House on the Prairie is so often they ended tragically.
Yeah, but this one begins and lasts and then ends tragically.
Oh, I'm looking at a
It's a
picture of it
2-point.
right now. It does.
Oh,
look
wow,
exactly
so am
like
I.
that.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that's weird.
Holy smokes. Oof.
Well, we do have something that's going to turn everything around. Indy says, Marcus, get hold of Sala.
Yeah,
Okay, but that just leads to a lot more questions.
it does.
Because I actually did a little research. You guys are going to send me a cookie now because I did a little bit of research. I looked
Wow.
on a map. Sala is nowhere near Eskedron. Sala is today he would be a 20-hour drive from Eskedron from Cairo.
Yeah.
Even in 2018, I don't think there's a train that goes there from Cairo. I can't imagine flying there as a breeze back then. So yes, it's fun that we're getting Sala, but does Indy not know anybody else within like 20 hours of that area that he could, be a contact for Marcus?
Well, that leads the next question, which I have. Are they planning on digging?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my question.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why do they need Sala? I don't. I mean, Sala's this whole thing. It's like I opened up. Yeah, I was like, okay, so he's the best digger in Cairo. So is he normally just in construction, or are there so many lost antiquities in Egypt that digging is just a full-time career?
Right.
And so why are they getting Sala?
Is Indy just thinking, I'm going to be in the desert, so I need that guy Sala from that last time?
Well, we never figured out if
we're
Sala's
going to need to dig?
Well, we never figured out if Sala's just like hired labor or if he's an archaeologist.
Well, he's a digger.
Right.
Well, you can be an archaeologist and be like, oh, he's a field man. He's a digger.
Yeah, he's a digger.
I guess.
Well, I never got the impression. Thor, what do you think? Is Sala an archaeologist?
He's not an Indy version. So Indy is like the academia archaeology, and Sala, I don't know. I think he's suspect the whole way through. I'm looking at his like the IMDb page of him right now, and no, I don't think he's an archaeologist.
Maybe Indy wants to throw off the fezzes. He's like, hey, Sala has a fez. I saw it in his trunk when I was there. And he's like, gonna mess them up. I'll throw one more fez in the mix, and that'll ruin their
That's a good
scheme.
question, though. I mean, everywhere that Indiana Jones goes, everybody seems to know him. So you're like, okay, doesn't he know somebody who'd be good at... I don't even know what are they... I'm not sure what they're doing. So Marcus is going to go to Alexandretta and start?
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
So they might be digging, I guess.
I don't. What if they find the Grail? Or it doesn't make sense. And
it's kind of too like I love Sala, of course, and it's fun to have him in the movie. But it is like when you think about it this way, you're like, oh, like. And Gerry, I know you hate it when you bring up James Bond, but James Bond would he had guys in different places. Like either he knew them or they were like his connections that MI6 set him up with or whatever. And it just seems like this is like a better, opportunity for something like that. Like even if Indy's thinking like, we don't know this yet, but we're going to find out that Marcus is a total goof and can't take care of himself and stuff. But so he would need somebody to meet him in Eskedron. And that he would need somebody to... But yeah, you're right. Like, I don't even know what they're doing. Like, what's Marcus going to do there?
This reminds me of, the later Star Trek movies, the original cast Star Trek movies, when they would have to have increasingly implausible reasons for them all to come back out of retirement and be on the same crew again. It's like they just couldn't come with a good reason. Why would Sala be here?
They do it every single movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Marcus doesn't need a handler.
Well...
And if anybody speaks at all... they're going to get their toe cut off. Marcus Brody doesn't need a handler.
No, of course not.
Well, he kind of does, doesn't he?
No, he's solid.
He needs a bodyguard.
Well, yeah, he has gotten clobbered once already. That's true.
That's a good point.
That was from behind. You didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question for you.
God.
So Indy says, or Marcus says, what about you? And Indy says, I'm going after Dad. Is that a euphemism?
Oh my God! I'm going directly after Dad.
We gotta do. When did you start subscribing to Penthouse forums? You were real good for the last two movies. It's just disgusting.
I just work with the material that's there.
Yeah. You can't
I'm
just
going
leave that
after
lying there.
Dad. Oh, that's creepy. And they already have a really creepy relationship.
Yeah. And you notice Indy doesn't put the marriage statistics back in the Grail diary. So it's kind of like he's Grail blocking his dad, too. He's like, you're not marrying Elsa.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Pete.
Oh, this is a very Greek tragedy kind of situation we've got going on here.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
So I've got a map-based question for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So what did you make of the minute where he begins his globetrotting and we get the flyover picture of or the sequence where he's hop skipping and jumping across the Atlantic?
Yeah.
I like that I believe he crosses over St. John's.
Yeah, Newfoundland.
which
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed because it has a little bit of a Christianity ding ding. I kind of like that. But that led us to one thing we discussed on maps. Typically, like if you're looking at this travel map, when there's a bright red blop or bleep, does that mean that the plane stops?
I assumed that's what was going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe to refuel or
Yeah.
whatever. Like if there's the red line, and then in each of these cities there's like a red circle. So we I guess it doesn't just turn there; it actually stops.
Yeah.
Makes a connection.
Yeah.
Right. Are those maps accurate to the time period and how all that works and looks?
Well, I don't know. Like, so at that time, military planes could have flown all the way across the Atlantic without stopping, but I bet like domestic flights very well could have had to stop frequently.
Sure.
I've got a whole theory about maps in the film if you guys want to hear it, and maybe for later
yes.
episodes you can suss it out.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think maps actually play a pretty important storytelling role in the movie. One is those flyover maps just help us figure out like where are they now? Because, they end up in all these weird places, and I think those like just help the audience orient themselves. But the diary itself, it's what like academics would call it's a form of geographical knowledge. So Indy's father is like basically sketching out how he imagines the world, and then it's counterposed to what I think what you guys will soon be talking about, and that's like Nazi attempts at mapping the world and conquering different territories. So in the next 2 minutes, Indy and Elsa end up in a scenario where we see a very different kind of map, which is used for very different kinds of purposes.
Wow, yeah.
And so I think in the film it's kind of interesting because that sets up this, it sets up the conflict between these sort of like swashbuckling archaeologists versus like the Nazi geopolitical machinery that is attempting to take over the world. That's my theory.
Huh, I like that.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And they're both kind of trying to conquer
Yeah.
the world, just in different ways.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Exactly. Is there? Let me ask you: is there a museum at Cal State?
Well, there's a bunch of CSUs. I'm at Cal State Dominguez Hills, which is in Carson. But Cal State proper, I'm sure there's like a bunch of museums. Why do you ask?
Well, just because we always wonder, like Indy's at Marshall College, he procures these, these pieces, and he just wants to bring them back to the museum. But it's the museum at, like for instance, if he were to get the Ark of the Covenant at the end, and you just keep it at Cal State. We often kick that around. I was wondering if that's something that's just on the campus, those sorts of things.
Probably not. High value stuff.
Well, Pete, I know you know this. I'm betting like $10 that you know what song is playing in the background.
Oh.
You're a Sweet Little Headache by Benny Goodman.
See? That's it.
I knew it too, by the way. I get $10.
You only tried this minute. You applied yourself.
I did.
You applied your. Okay, so Tommy, who did it? So it's you're a sweet.
The hell should I
headache.
know? Oh, I don't know.
Well, Pete, do you know who did it?
Who was singing?
Yeah.
Martha Tilton.
Yeah, with the Benny Goodman
Yeah.
Orchestra.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So, and I would like to take a minute to read the first verse.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're a sweet little headache, but you are lots of fun. I've a good mind to spank you, then thank you for all you've done.
Oh.
Yeah, and I look, and people today complain about rap lyrics. That's pretty.
Yeah, that would have gotten the explicit tag on it back then.
Yeah, there you go. I have a good mind to spank you, then thank you for all you've done. So.
Does that overturned table look like a gong to you, Gerry?
It did, but I see gongs wherever I go.
That's true, yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I was
yeah.
like,
There's
if you
got a
walked into
disease.
this room Would you know if you walked into your room, would you know that it had been ransacked?
No. Not at all.
You think your cat had just barfed on something?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, I'll do laundry tomorrow.
It's funny you mention that table though, because when I see that every single time I watch this, it makes me I'm totally alone with this, but it reminds me of the miniseries from like 1980 something, Fatal Vision, about the real life case of Jeffrey McDonald, who was accused of killing his family, and he's in prison right now for it, but a lot of people think he's innocent. And one of the key things was like there's one table in the house that was top heavy, and would if somebody knocked it down legitimately, it would have landed on its top. And this table looks like that to me, that like if somebody actually ransacked the place, it would be like just completely on its top right now. But somebody like either, Elsa or somebody on the set of the movie, some prop master, just sort of like tipped it over and left it that way. And it always makes me think of that. And when do you think this ransacking happened?
Yeah, I think it was when Indy was in the shower. I think that's why Elsa turned up her music. But he doesn't have a lot of stuff. Like he brought that one small bag. And so, like, his room's actually not that ransacked. And I don't, like, it might have taken him even a moment to realize that it had been ransacked. But, with that small bag, it kind of got me wondering, does he just have one outfit that he wears every day for a couple of months on these long international trips?
He might have, like, one shirt. Like, is the shirt that he was wearing in the previous scenes, is that, like, the same as his Indiana Jones Lion Tamer outfit shirt? And then he just changes the jacket and maybe the pants and stuff?
I think the Lion Tamer shirt shows up next minute. I don't know. I'm just thinking he's got to not smell good at a certain point in these movies.
Right. Yeah. No, he's gross. Indiana Jones is gross.
Isn't this just a case of Donovan ransacking Donovan's apartment?
Well,
yeah, that's why he's careful with his table not to break it.
Yeah. He's like very carefully lay it down on its side.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's
easy with that.
Yeah.
So what's funny is, I mean, does Indy's room get ransacked all the time? Because he looks like, he just got a parking ticket. Like he kind of comes and he's like, ugh, again.
Yeah.
And then I thought about this. We did the comic book, right? Didn't his room get ransacked in the comic book?
God, I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, their room got ransacked in the comic book. Don't make me turn into one of those people who.
Oh, but yeah, his
comic
hotel
books.
room when he went to.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But that's why I asked you if you'd recognize if your room got ransacked, Gerry. Like, is Indiana Jones a neat and tidy guy, or do you think he keeps his room kind of like this all the time?
You know what? I think Indiana Jones is supposed to be a neat and tidy guy because cleanliness is next to Yahwehness. Or whatever it is, But in real life, no, I think he's a slob. He's dusty, and he's a swashbuckling, grave-robbing, sloppy guy.
Well, we saw his place in Raiders, and it wasn't a mess, but it also didn't have like a bedroom or anything. Like it seemed like a weird place. Like he had
his closet wasn't very tidy.
His office was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his office is a mess.
Yeah.
His office is
and that's weird. Like we're looking at his office, and it's, I mean, Thor, how would you feel in there? There's like a boiler behind you, and then like these cold bookshelves.
Yeah, it seemed very cramped. I don't know about that situation.
Well, and then he goes, like, Elsa's room is destroyed. Mm-hmm. All that stuff is very strange. It's like, if you're going to ransack like that, and you're not me, that's going to take a long time, and it's going to be really loud as hell. I don't care what Benny Goodman song is playing.
Right. Well, and also, I'm confused about the whole shower thing, because he showered in that room, didn't he? And then he came into this room where he's been with Marcus.
Oh, so you think there's only one shower in the apartment?
Oh, really?
No, that's what you're saying. Are you saying that he was the same shower that Elsa's in?
It seems like Elsa has a shower in her bathroom, in her room, like off her room.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting the impression that Indy does too. And so, like, he would be in there and then leave, and his room would be fine. But then he gets back to it after talking to Marcus, and it's ransacked.
So maybe she ransacked her room while he was taking a shower. And then when he went out to talk to Marcus, she turned the music up and then very quietly turned the table over and kind of pulled some stuff
very
out of
quietly
the
and just gently laid the table.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is that's actually what the Indiepedia says.
Really?
Well, yes.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I didn't
Why do you
want
do
to
this,
bring.
Gerry?
I know. I didn't want to bring up a comic book and the Wikipedia, whatever,
going well for
archaeologistopedia.
you.
Yeah, but it did say that Elsa ransacks her room and turns up Benny Goodman so that no one hears.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you think? Okay, wait. So do you think? Not to jump ahead, but do you think that she literally, like, gently made it look like Indy's room had been ransacked and wasn't actually searching for it or searching anything?
Oh, good question. Or is she actually
And
looking for the
she's
diary?
just doing it to like flush out Indy and like, oh, if he has the diary, he'll show it to me or something now.
Or was she really looking for it? Like, was she actually looking for it and then ransacked her own room just to cover for the fact that she was looking for it in
she's
Indy's?
clearly
Maybe.
really looking for it because in the next
I guess
minute or
so.
so, like, she's like, "You didn't trust me,"
Yeah.
and
There
so
would have been
she's-
easier ways for her to discover it.
Yeah, she's
she thought that
clearly
he had
looking
it.
for it. But would you ransack it like that? Let me ask you, Thor. Thor, does this movie make sense?
No.
It is overly complicated in a lot of places.
But it's really fun.
Yeah.
I was surprised rewatching
yeah.
it once
Yeah.
you guys invited me on the podcast. I was surprised at how enjoyable it was, even with the. I remember back to the setup when the trailer for the film when Indy says, "Oh, rats," and we were suspect about how good it was going to be. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have to rank your indie films, how would you rank them?
I don't know. Last Crusade is the one that I grew up on. I think I would have been what, 9 or 10, and I know that we had it on our movie collection at home.
So is that your favorite because that you were sort of indoctrinated with that one? That was your first.
I guess I mean, full disclosure, I was also raised Mormon, and so we weren't. So like TV and movies weren't a big part of our lives. So we had probably 8 films to watch.
Oh, and this was one of them.
Yeah, this
Nice,
is
that's
Back
good.
to the Future. I forget which other ones, but
Oh,
this
wow.
was one of them.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
I absolutely love how Indy knocks on the bathroom door and opens it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that's just so creepy.
I
Why
know.
not?
He's,
Yeah.
he's trying to say, "Oh, you're in here."
Oh, I had no idea. I'm so
Bathing.
sorry.
Yeah. He does a knock. He does it's a
Yeah.
two-hit, like a knock push.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He
knock
opens the
push.
door and knocks on the door as it's
I
opening.
knocked. You didn't say anything as I was opening the door.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. And awful. I don't mean hilarious. I mean, it's terrible.
No, we know where you stand,
He's
Jerry.
sneaking peeks. Sneaking Elsa peeks.
He's not even sneaking. He's just peeking.
Yeah, he's just peeking.
I saw it.
One thing that I loved or totally forgot was that River Phoenix is young Indy.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
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 Do,
It's
do
pretty
you
awesome
do you
in it.
like him cast as young Indy? Does that make sense to you?
I don't know if it makes sense, but I like him in everything, and I had just totally forgotten
Yeah.
that he was in this.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Oh,
weird.
Something's coming over the wire. Something's knocking and then beeping simultaneously.
I'm in my underwear
and it's in. Yeah, stop
I'm
telegraphing.
gonna brush
me,
my
sis.
teeth in peace.
I'm in my underwear. So the Grail is housed in Middle Earth.
Oh my
Ah,
gosh.
you're not the only one there, Tommy.
Your sister and I should do a podcast together.
Yeah. You guys
About
should
Indiana Jones.
knock on the doors and open them together.
That makes me feel good about myself. It's good to be simpatico with Professor Christy Porter.
Yeah.
Well, if that does it for 43, Thor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
This has
having me.
been
It was a
awesome.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a big help. We had our suspicions about that silly map, and we're glad we had a professional to prove us right. That always helps. helps us feel smart. Hey, everybody out there, if you would like to look smart, see what I did there? You should go to tpublic.com and find our store on there for the Indiana Jones Minute, and you can find shirts, you can find phone cases, notebooks, all sorts of stuff. to make you and your loved ones look really awesome. You can either go to TeePublic or you can go to indianajonesminute.com and click on the store button, and that'll take you right there, and then you can start looking and feeling cooler than you already were. And then after you do that, put on your indie shirt and join us tomorrow, right back here for minute 44 of Last Crusade, here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Thor, do you ever get really pissed off at Google Maps?
No?
Did you ever look at it and you're like, it's ridiculous. That's not how I would draw a park.
No, they do. They do pretty good, I think.
Beyond reproach, Gerry.